Hello, my lovers. I'm Coach Kara, and yes, I am here with another car chat video. So as I sit here and wait for it to somewhat finish raining, I just began to think about relationships and what do they really mean, like, in this era. And I've been hearing a lot of breakups going on, a lot of divorces after being together for years. Like who gets a divorce at 70-ish years old? And it just kind of made me wonder, like, is it really any hope for ongoing successful love relationships? I know we have our social influences, but the way I see it, where we're designed, where love is designed, is that nothing should be able to interfere with that. Like, you should not be influenced unless, of course, you want to be. And so as I'm just sitting here thinking, then I heard a podcast earlier, and it just really made me ponder, why are relationships so unsuccessful today? And the two reasons that I could come up with to where it really makes sense to me is that people are simply not healing from past relationships. They're not putting in the effort to take themselves through that healing process, that healing process of understanding and sorting things out internally in their mind, and then being in a place to where they can feel comfortable to be in something new, something fresh, without feeling the need of wanting to be accepted or validated in some way. And that's a lot of what the problem is. Everyone wants to feel accepted, because of our influences, of course. And so because of that, we get out of our situation. You guys break up. You move right along 2 weeks later to the next person. Like, how have you been involved with someone for a number of years in love, sharing photos of romantic, experiences or whatever, and then you break up 2 weeks later, you're entertaining an ex-boo, all the while still smelling like your ex. I mean, you reek of this person. It's like, how can people do that? That is like the most unhealthy thing ever. You have no idea what you're taking yourself through, and you would be amazed that at least every other person does that. I know you're afraid of being alone. Listen, guys, I get it. Breaking up is hard AF. I did it. Okay? 3 years ago, April, I made a decision, an executive decision, to leave my relationship. It was no longer serving me. We were like roommates that actually got along, which is so awkward and weird, but at the same time, the romance, the passion, the attraction, it was stale. Like, it was null and void. And I began to think to myself, like, how long can I deal with this? He's like 6 years older than me. He's getting older and more boring, where once he used to be very energetic and outgoing. That was changing. And it was like, okay, so I'm going to have to make a decision for myself, despite the fact that he's my bestie and I love him dearly. And we've been together like forever. Though we've, had some breakups. But, it was very, very, very hard move. And it didn't just happen overnight. No, I had to take myself through that process. Of course, we don't want to leave the person that we love, right? Of course not. But I've learned from my mistakes when I was younger. Like, staying gets you nowhere. Regardless of if you love your person so much, or you think you're in love. It's not going to get you anywhere but into that same cycle. And that's what I didn't want to complete. So, I took maybe a month or two to execute my plan. And then one Monday morning, I did it. Got my things. I had everything set up. I was out. Was he mad as hell? Hell yeah, he was mad. But at the same time, he knew You know, it had come to that point to where, okay, so one day we're going to have to face this. But, you know, yes, he made several attempts, and those attempts were not to get back at me. It was because, just like most people, he did not want to be alone. Just that fear of being alone. But I realized, you're going to be okay. Get through this process, and then you'll be able to move on. And he did. You see? However, it impacted me more, I think, because my timing was bad, guys. Listen, it was so bad. Like 2 days after I left, right, his brother was tragically killed, whom I was very close to. And so it was me going through that process as well and trying to grieve that. And then, oh my gosh, yes. So yes, I was there to comfort him. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I was right there. But it didn't kick in till like weeks later, you know, when everything's calmed down, and then it hits you, and then you go through these emotional changes, and you know, but we've been blessed. Our bodies are designed to experience trauma and pain in waves. So some days I would be okay, some days I wouldn't, and it went on like that for months. But you gotta remember, that was my best friend. We should have never been together in the first place, okay? But it had to happen. We'd outgrown each other. And that's the Gemini guy that I used to talk about for all my old subscribers. But yeah, so, and then as time goes on, you know, I'm healing. I'm like at 80%, 90%. And then I meet this other guy, which was refreshing for me. And oh my God, the chemistry, the connection. What? We had fun. We dated for like a couple of months. It was good, guys. But then I had to pump the brakes. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're just coming out of a relationship recently, as am I. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Are we really doing this because we're trying to avoid the healing process? Like, are we doing this as a distraction? So I had to pump the brakes. I mean, like, I had to cut it off. And I did. I had to, because I care about myself far more than I care about the experience of something new. Now, 10 years ago, in my reckless days, I would have endured that to the end first and then dealt with the consequences later. But no, I've outgrown that way of thinking. So having evolved, I had to get out of that. And of course, he continued dating someone else, you see? And everyone's moving on, and they're moving on without healing, and they're not understanding why things happen. Everything happens for a reason, and not understanding themselves and taking themselves through the process. And so this is what's happening. We're coming into new situations, damaged, bruised up, broken, and expecting the next person to make us better. And they're effed up as well. And that's part of the problem. I think that's a great deal of what issues are. People are not willing to take themselves through any sort of process to understanding. And that really saddens me, because we're so impatient, especially us Westerners. We want everything now. We want to be validated. We want to be accepted. Hell, accept yourself. The day that you accept yourself, the acceptance from anyone else doesn't matter. Like yourself first. I like myself far too much to continually give myself away and put myself into a position that's going to ultimately affect me negatively. I can't do that anymore. Which leads me to number 2 is people simply aren't learning from past mistakes. You think being with someone different and they're doing the exact same thing that the last 10 people did to you, like, and you're just staying in it hoping that it's going to change? That's like standing in front of a train and expecting it to go around you. We know better, guys. You know better. If it's not your situation, you see someone else's situation. Learn from their experiences. I have. Or at least I try to. I try to do the right thing. Because see, when you learn and you grow, you become stronger. And when you gain strength, like, I feel so good that I was able to walk away from that situation. I do now. I have 0 regrets. So now my next situation going forward, I can go into it with a clear mind, clear heart, no residual energies following me. I'm not having moments where I'm thinking about my ex. Now, that's long gone. I mean, we're still cool to this day. I'm not worried about that. So I know 100% that I've moved on, and I can move on to something better and hopefully find someone who is as emotionally healthy as I am, or as I think I am. But that's what the problem is. People are emotionally damaged and they're moving on without properly healing. And also learning from their mistakes. Well, I gotta see for myself. I understand. I know. I hear you, but I'm still not gonna do it. Like, that's asinine. You're hurting yourself. And this is the issue with relationships these days. You know, everyone wants to be accepted. You're looking for the wrong something, whatever it is. You're getting it from the wrong person. And yeah, I think that's primarily what the reason is. Why new relationships fail. Because if the new relationships are failing, and then you have people who've been together for 40 years, they're ending their relationship. So it's like, wait, what? Are you guys not resolving? It's a lot going on, guys, with relationships, especially in this era. Too many influences. Your love should never be based upon anything outside of what you have. Until we gain that level of understanding, then we're always going to, unfortunately, be in this vicious cycle of just running into more bullshit. Okay? So I just wanted to come to you with that today while I wait. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about how you feel relationships are heavily impacted with today's social influences. But that is all for now, my loves. I thank you for joining me. Until next time.